Well, friends, good morning again. It's Pastor Pete here. Early on a Monday morning, another gorgeous day out here. Just stopped off in a Cineplex parking lot after I dropped off Pammer to work and wanted to speak to you outside in the beautiful sunshine again this morning. Reading today in our Bible reading was from the chapter 29 of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy, of course, is a book that is reminding the people of God what they should do by reminding them for the second time of what God had told them in the rest of the law. The interesting thing about Deuteronomy, though, is not just simply a repeating of what was heard before, but it's actually revealing new and fresh realities. The 29th chapter and the 29th verse speaks about the secret things belonging to the Lord. But those things that have been revealed to us that we may do them. So God reveals things to us, not everything at one time. He keeps some things secret. The things that he keeps secret aren't malicious, or he doesn't keep them secret maliciously. He keeps them secret until we need to know them, just as he did with the people of Israel. But he says when these things are revealed, they have a very specific purpose, meaning that they are a call to action. The things that are secret belong to the Lord, but now the things that have been revealed, things that are no longer secret, have been given to us that we may do what God has called us to do. Meaning when he tells us about himself, he expects us to respond with action and obedience. God doesn't reveal himself to us in a chatty way, as if he's just talking and it doesn't have an immediate effect. It's supposed to immediately have a change in our lives. God's change agenda, as David Powlison calls it, is just that, from the standpoint of, well, when he tells us something, even about himself, it's supposed to equal the changed life of obedience for us as his people. The interesting thing for me was that later in chapter 30, he says that if you fail to hear the voice of the Lord, not the word heed, the word hear. I'm getting ahead of myself. If you fail to hear the word of the Lord, then I will judge you because you have not obeyed it, because you've turned away. And the expectation there is that if you've heard it, you'd obey it. And if you aren't obeying it, it doesn't mean you are ignoring what you've heard. It means you haven't really heard it. When the Bible uses this kind of terminology about hearing and heeding, it's not as if some folks have heard the word of the Lord but just ignored it. He's saying you've only really heard it if you're really acting in light of it. And it's given to us in the book of Deuteronomy, which is second giving of this. Which means that God is calling us to obey him, and calling us to obey him by reminding us of what he's already told us. Because, again, God is just so kind to not just sit back and say, well, I told you, I'm just going to leave you out there to wallow. If you don't do it, you don't do it. It's a mercy of God that he shows us what we're called to do again and again, by showing us who he is again and again. We spoke last week, and we're looking forward to Wednesday evening's Facebook Live, and we'll have the theme of music and worship in music, and how God reveals himself to us and calls us to act. It's amazing to me that beautiful, beautiful song, that though our sins they are many, his mercy is more. His mercy is seen in the fact that our sins of disobedience in an ongoing way, as his people, it's not met with judgment. It's met with mercy. It's met with kindness. It's met with the Lord all over again. One more time. One more time. One more time. Remember who I am. This is what I call you to do. Now, on Sunday morning, we had our text from John chapter 13 just yesterday about the idea of Jesus giving us this example of a loving servant and then appealing to us to be loving servants. He did that and said, and we said, how is it that he motivates us for that kind of obedience? You remember in John chapter 13 that he motivated his apostles by reminding them of who he is. You call me teacher and Lord, and that's right, for so I am. And if I, your teacher and Lord, have done these things to you, you also ought to do them. He reminds them of who he is, and he reminds them of who they are. And he does that again as another beautiful act of mercy. This morning, friends, the mercy of God is new every morning. It's new in this beautiful sunshine. It's new as we enter into this week leading up to Easter. I want to encourage you, friends, to revel in and grip hold of God's mercy this morning and show that you have taken in his truth, his merciful truth, by living lives that reflect him. Friends, it's going to be Easter in a few days, and I want to encourage you again as a church family to grab your cell phone just as I've done now and give us a 15 or 20 second greeting, an Easter greeting for the church family. I would like to compile those by Thursday, which means I need them from you on Wednesday, by Wednesday. So just grab your phones today and 15 or 20 seconds. 30 seconds is too long. You can email them right over to me. I've already had one submission. Wonderful. Looking forward to that, but I do need them by Wednesday, please, so I have time to compile them together and that we could have just dozens and dozens of us speaking to one another across the video on Resurrection Sunday. Lord bless you this morning, friends. We'll see you.